There's something undeniably magical about the smell of rain before it even touches the ground. You're outside, enjoying a perfect day, grilling burgers, setting up a badminton game, and then hold on are those ominous dark clouds rolling in. Before you even think about pulling out your phone to check the weather app, your nose sounds the silent alarm. Rain is coming. But how exactly does your nose know before you do? Well, get ready for a deep dive into the surprising science behind that fresh, earthy aroma that signals an impending storm. It turns out that storm winds don't just bring rain, they carry an invisible orchestra of scents. And our noses, they're the conductors, interpreting the chemical melodies that nature plays before, during, and after a downpour. A nose for a trillion scents. The human nose is a fascinating instrument. We can detect up to 1 trillion different scents, many of which are deeply connected to our memories and emotions. Think about it: one whiff of a familiar perfume, freshly baked cookies, or your childhood pet's fur, and you're instantly transported to another time and place. This is because our sense of smell is directly linked to the limbic system, the brain's emotional and memory center. This explains why the scent of rain can evoke nostalgia, reminding you of childhood moments spent splashing in puddles or cozying up indoors during a thunderstorm. But what exactly causes that delightful scent? There's more than one answer, and each chemical compound responsible for the smell of rain has its own unique role to play in the drama of an approaching storm. These scents aren't random. They are the result of intricate chemical reactions between the atmosphere, soil, and even microorganisms. Understanding these components not only deepens our appreciation for nature, but also highlights how interconnected life on Earth truly is. Ozone, the electrifying scent of an approaching storm. One of the first scents to reach your nose before a thunderstorm is ozone. If you've ever noticed that fresh, slightly metallic or chlorine-like smell in the air before rain, that's ozone doing its thing. And fun fact, the word ozone actually comes from the Greek word meaning to smell. Makes sense, right? Ozone is a molecule composed of 3 oxygen atoms, and while it plays a protective role in the stratosphere by shielding us from ultraviolet rays, at ground level, it's a sign that a storm is brewing. So how does ozone make its way into the air? When lightning flashes high up in the storm clouds, it splits oxygen molecules apart. Some of these free oxygen atoms recombine into O3, aka ozone. But here's the cool part. Powerful winds that precede a storm carry this ozone down to ground level, giving your nose the first hint that rain is on the way. So next time you smell that signature pre-rain fragrance, know that you're actually inhaling traces of high-altitude lightning chemistry. This scent not only serves as a heads-up for an impending storm, but also adds to the dramatic tension of the atmosphere, like nature's way of setting the mood. Petrichor, the sweet smell of wet earth. Ah, petrichor, that beautiful, nostalgic scent that fills the air when raindrops hit dry soil. If you've never heard of this term before, you're in for a treat. The word petrichor comes from 2 Greek words, petra, meaning stone, and ichor, which refers to the ethereal fluid that supposedly ran through the veins of the gods. So basically, petrichor is the divine cologne of the earth itself. But what causes this intoxicating fragrance? It all starts with decomposed organic matter in the soil. When plants and microbes break down, they release oils and chemical compounds that cling to dirt and rocks. When it hasn't rained for a while, these compounds accumulate in the soil. But as soon as raindrops hit the ground, the impact sends these aromatic molecules airborne, straight to your nostrils. It's not just humans who appreciate the scent of petrichor. Scientists believe that it plays a crucial role in nature, acting as a chemical signal for plants and animals. In dry regions, for instance, petrichor can actually tell plant seeds to wait before sprouting. If there's not enough rain to sustain new growth, the presence of petrichor warns seeds to hold off on germination until conditions improve. Geosmin, the earthy aroma of rain and beets. Another key player in the smell of rain phenomenon is a compound called geosmin. If you've ever noticed that fresh, almost musty earthy scent in the air, when rain begins to fall, you're smelling geosmin at work. Produced by soil-dwelling bacteria known as actinobacteria, geosmin is a natural byproduct of their metabolic processes. Interestingly, geosmin is the same compound that gives beets their distinct earthy flavor. So if you've ever thought that beets taste like dirt, well, you're not entirely wrong. Your taste buds are simply picking up on the same molecule that creates the smell of rain-soaked soil. This is why some people find beets deliciously rustic, while others gag at the thought of eating mud-flavored vegetables. But geosmin doesn't just influence human palates. Catfish, for example, have an incredibly heightened sensitivity to it. Their whisker-like barbels can detect geosmin concentrations as low as 0.1 parts per billion in water, making them expert rain smell detectors. And here's another fun fact. Camels in the desert are thought to follow the scent of petrichor and geosmin to locate hidden water sources. Their sense of smell is so keen that they can detect water from over 50 miles away, kind of like a built-in GPS, but without the annoying recalculating voice. So the next time you smell the sweet, earthy fragrance of rain, just imagine a camel somewhere thinking, "Ah yes, time for a drink," while a catfish in a muddy river nods in agreement. Petrichor and romance. A rainy love story. It's not just camels that respond to petrichor. Some studies suggest that the scent of rain can trigger spawning behaviors in fish, particularly in rivers and lakes. The idea is that rain signals a change in water conditions, perhaps more oxygen, or an increase in food sources, prompting fish to get, well, romantic. To them, a sudden downpour is basically nature's equivalent of lighting candles and playing berry white. Scientists have observed that certain fish, like salmon and catfish, become more active and are more likely to spawn after rainfall, possibly because the fresh infusion of water brings in nutrients and creates the ideal conditions for their eggs to thrive. Even amphibians aren't immune to this atmospheric love potion. Frogs, for example, often croak louder and more persistently after rain, advertising themselves like contestants on a reality dating show. And humans aren't entirely immune to petrichor's charms either. Many people find the scent of rain to be oddly soothing, nostalgic, or even romantic. There's something cinematic about a kiss in the rain, right? Maybe Hollywood and fish have been onto something all along. Why we love the smell of rain. Beyond the science, there's something undeniably comforting about the smell of rain. For many of us, it evokes childhood memories of splashing in puddles, curling up with a book on a rainy day, or running barefoot through the grass as summer storms roll in. Some researchers believe that our love for the smell of rain is deeply rooted in evolution. Our ancestors relied on rainfall for survival. More rain meant more food, more water, and better living conditions. So perhaps we've inherited a subconscious appreciation for the scent of rain as a sign of life and renewal. And let's not forget the simple joy of taking a deep breath of fresh, rain-scented air after a long, dry spell. It's nature's way of hitting the refresh button. And there you have it, the fascinating chemistry behind that unmistakable fresh rain smell. The next time you step outside and take a deep breath of that earthy, electrifying aroma, you'll know you're experiencing a mix of ozone, petrichor, and geosmin, orchestrated beautifully by nature itself. Who knew that the air before a storm could carry such an incredible scientific story? If you found this deep dive into the world of rain scents as fascinating as we did, make sure to hit that like, and don't forget to subscribe.